God must say, okay, you're good. I'm fine with you. But that's not how it works. And here's the funny thing. When people tend to give like that, when they don't give from thanks, when they don't give from real faith, they tend to give just enough. And they get to define what enough is. And they tend to give just what they think they have to please God. And here today we learn that the Bible tells us God has no regard for gifts like these. He wants them from faith. And this is how you can know that your heart is more like Cain's or more like Abel's. And the reality is sometimes we're drifting between the two. And the goal is to rely on God's grace so that we become more like Abel each day. But this is how you can know. When life isn't going the way you think it should, you've kind of mapped out your plans, and it's not going that way, you're able to accept it. You're able to say that, you know what, God, you know best, and I will follow, and I love you, and I'm not going to worry about that. Or, like Cain, you find yourself in despair. You become very angry. You walk away from God and you turn against others. You see, Cains are very grumpy. And Cains are always feeling victimized, like somebody's out to get them. And Cains always have hurt feelings. And so they try to hurt somebody else to try and feel better. Because they're doing things for the wrong reasons. See, they want to be thanked. They want to be recognized. They want to be noticed. And they want to be justified. It's subtle to notice, though, because on the outside, they look exactly like the Abels of the world. Very religious. They're doing, as a matter of fact, the very things that people like me ask people like you to do. But they're actually enslaved on the inside. They are so consumed with worry about their future that they fail to trust completely in God, and sin masters them. You know, there's a new show on ABC, I'm told. I haven't seen it yet. It's called Flash Forward. And I'm told that in this show, the basic premise is that there was a period of time for a short while that the world completely paused, and so each person kind of had the pause button pushed on their personal lives. And during that time, they all had a glimpse of their futures. Now, some of those futures were good, and some of those futures were bad. And my friend tells me now that, especially for those futures that were bad, people are going and trying to change the future. And then even for those that are good, people are failing to live for today and enjoying the journey. We see in Abel how you can live for the future in the right way. Because the Abels of the world, no, they've been given a flash forward of how everything is going to really play out in this world. They know the solution to all of the problems that are caused by this sin that crouches at our door. They know that it'll be crushed once and for all. You know, Abel had one verse of the Bible, and he believed. He believed that one day there was going to be a release from all jealousy and discord, and that ultimately paradise that was lost was going to be restored, and it changed him. He trusted God, and he followed God. Along the journey, there were many, many unknowns. There were things that didn't always pan out the way he thought. There's times that we go through life and we may think one thing is going to happen, and then we find that recessions happen, or a job is lost, or illnesses happen, or accidents take place, and everything changes. And in those moments, there's a temptation for us to be like Cain and try to control all of it. And then when things don't go our way, especially if we feel like, God, why are you punishing me? Look what I've done for you. Not only will we be mad at him, we're going to be mad at anyone else that we think has gotten a better lot in life. This story may seem like ancient history to a lot of people, and a lot of times people look at stuff in the Bible and they wonder, what does it have to do with me? But this story, his story, still rings true. Sin is an amazing force, and it needs to be mastered. Things may not play out the same way in our lives like they did with Cain and Abel in that field, but the same temptation is there for us to do just enough in our relationship with God, to give just enough, what we think is enough, and to make sure we do just enough to look religious, but never be transformed, to never say with real faith, change my heart, oh God. You can't master that sin by your strength. There's nothing you can do to master that sin. The only way it happens is this, is you look back, just like Abel did, you look back to a promise. The promise of God saying, I'm going to take care of it, and you believe. And then you look forward, you flash forward, and you see that we do have a God who comes and changes everything. We have even more than Abel had. Make no mistake about that. We have countless Bible studies that take place in this church. The opportunity to gather together for worship. In just a little while, Jesus himself present here in bread and wine to fill us up. And you know something amazing? We have each other. We can encourage one another. We love one another. We tell the story. We confront one another when we are fallen, and we pick one another up. We have all of that. We know that Jesus Christ came, and he died a death on the cross. And by that death, he flashes us forward to the time when we will never have pain in this world again. He faced the same jealousy and discord that Abel faced from his brother, and he faced it from others because in their self-righteous religious attitudes, they saw that he was coming and was truly obedient and faithful. But he did that so that he might change those attitudes and bring them to true repentance and true faith. And so by that death, we're given a new life. We can flash forward to the time and know that our future is not one of separation from God, but of a glorious reuniting with God. It's one of life forever. Jesus says that's enough today to give you joy as you yet walk by faith in him. You don't have to worry about how the next month or 2 months is going to pan out, because you know how your ultimate future pans out, that you're going to have life forever in heaven. He says, today, trust in me. We can trust in him with our money, with our time, with our whole lives. We can give to him in faith, and we will not hold back from him in fear. You're not going to take care of all of that by me just telling you. I tell you every week, and it's not like I have that power in your lives. Sin has a greater power than I, but God has a greater power than sin. And so you go to his word. You go to each other. You go to his sacraments, and you receive his love and be transformed for Jesus' sake.